G'day everybody, welcome back to another tipping video on the channel. So before we get into it fellas, let me just quickly say the reason why this video is being uploaded on a Wednesday is because my tipping video uploading schedule, as I said earlier at the start of the footy season, I'm going to be uploading my tipping videos 2 days prior to the first game of the round. The first game of this round being the Giants taking on St Kilda on a Friday. That's why this video is going to be uploaded on a Wednesday. So yeah, thought I'd just give you the heads up. But anyways, fellas, let's get into my tips for round 6 of the 2022 AFL season. If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's kick it off as per usual with my tips from last week. Okay, my tips from round 5, and I managed to get a 7 out of 9. I bloody take that. About time I get a high score. I felt pretty confident in my tips, and a lot of them did pay off. And we'll just quickly go over the games now. I did tip the Lions, and they beat the Pies. Yeah, a really competitive game that was from the Magpies, but you expected Brisbane's class to just run over the top of them, and that sure did happen. Then we had North Melbourne take on the Bulldogs. It was looking like it was going to be a repeat of last year, but then North Melbourne turned the corner a bit, kicked a few in a row, brought back the momentum a bit, but then, yeah, Bulldogs' accuracy really did help them in that game to win by 68 points. Then West Coast Eagles versus the Swans. Even though West Coast had a few of their star mids back in, they just seemed to lack a lot of match fitness as the Swans simply ran circles around them. Hayden McLean, Logan McDonald were stars, Isaac Heaney as per usual, and yeah, the Swans seem to be building onto something at the moment. Then we had St Kilda against the Suns, tipped the Saints, and yeah, they're 4 in the trot now. Even though the Saints are yet to play a top 8 side from last year, they're still playing good football at the moment, and I really back them in against those top 8 sides. They've got the Giants, I'm pretty sure, this Friday night, so that should be a good game. And yeah, they are in some red-hot form at the moment, the Saints. Then we had the Crows take on Richmond. I did go for the risky tip here by tipping the Crows, and it did pay off. I just had a feeling in my gut that they would pull off a really good win and a good performance like they did against the Bombers last week. And yeah, it was all because of Taylor Walker, really. He was on fire. Ben Keays has been brilliant in that midfield too. 𝐼𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐵's been a really under-the-radar player as well. And yeah, they'll just be a team that's going to really pull off a few upset wins, I reckon. And for the Tigers, just seem to be really inconsistent at the moment. Then we had the Demons and the Giants, and as expected, the Demons put on an absolute clinic, outclassing the Giants. And it's no surprise, really, the Demons list is the best in the AFL. And honestly, I reckon they'll win the flag. I'm calling it from here. Might as well give them the flag now. They look unstoppable and a team that's going to be really hard to beat. Then we had Carlton and Port Adelaide. Went for the risky tip here, and they were down by 50 points at halftime, Port. And I was heading into this video thinking, oh my god, I'm going to be bloody embarrassed as hell by tipping Port, but they almost brought it back. They were under a kick and they just could not find that final goal. Lachie Young was very clutch in that fourth quarter. And yeah, Carlton just hold on for another insane victory, and they'll take that. They will just take as many wins as possible because, yeah, they were just really wanting finals this year, no matter how they do it. Then Essendon versus Fremantle. I went for the convincing win tip here for Freo, tipping them by 26 points, and they win by 48. And to be fair, that was at the expense of Essendon. They're just not playing a very good brand of footy at the moment. They are lacking that competitiveness. I know they do have Stringer and Merritt out, but you expect them to show a bit more fight and a bit more two-way running and a bit more chase after the ball carrier. But yeah, there we go. Freo just running rings around them, and they're looking like a team that's in red-hot form at the moment. And also, they've got a very good list as well, even with star players like Nat Fyfe and Mundy out. Then for the final game of the round, we did have the Hawks and the Catters. Did tip the Catters, same with a lot of people, but how about that? The Hawks, they're a team not to write off at the moment. They had a great win, winning by 12 points. Dylan Moore and Mitch Lewis are just the standout players for me, punching above their weight, and I'm pretty sure they've got, I think, 25 goals apiece. And yeah, Hawks will just keep on doing that game here, game there, picking up a few upset wins. So yeah, there's my tips from round 5, 7 out of 9, I'll take that. And let's see if we can do better than that for round 6. Okay, everybody, as per usual, we'll quickly go over the top 10 in my tipping competition leaderboard. By the way, fellas, if you're yet to join my tipping competition, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Plenty of cash up for grabs for the top finishers, and it's not too late to join. But anyway, let's have a look at the top 10. 10th, we've got Ben Platten with 44 points. 9th, we've got VinnyXBL with 44 points. 8th, we've got Fediz77 with 45 points. 7th, we've got Jacko Crows 123 with 45 points. 6th, we've got 𝐼𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐵2 with 45 points. 5th, we've got Denmaster 45 with 46 points. Fourth, we've got 𝐼𝙗𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐵 with 46 points. Third, we've got 𝐼𝐶𝐞𝐎 456 with 48 points. Second, we've got Jason Raiders with 49 points. And first, we've got Banga Harvey with 55 points. So he's got a bit of a healthy buffer at the moment with a margin of 6. And yeah, there's my top 10. Or there is the top 10 at the moment. Rightio, everybody. Now we move on to our tips for round 6. And we kick it off with a Friday night game to kick it off for the round. There's no Thursday night game for this round because of the long Easter weekend. And we've got the Giants taking on the Saints at Manuka Oval. This is in Canberra, and to be honest, it's a 20-30 minute drive away from me. So maybe I could go to this game. I don't know. But anyway, this is an interesting game because you've got the Giants. This is pretty much a finals game for him because if you lose this, you go to 1-5, and that's pretty much season over. They've got Toby Green back in, but they're versing St Kilda, who are in red hot form. Yes, they're yet to play a top 8 side, but I'm just feeling the Giants are actually going to do it. They're going to pull off a ripper. They're going to do the unexpected. I'm not disrespecting the Saints at all. They look to be a very consistent side at the moment, which is something that they do lack, and they look to be in red hot form with the players they do have. Sinclair, bloody Jack Steele, Max King, Jay Gresham, they're all stars at the moment. Even a few underrated players like McKenzie's been very good too. But the Giants, they just a very good side under pressure. They're very resilient, and they're going to pick up an absolute ripper and win by 11 points. Now for the Saturday games, and we have got the Bulldogs taking on Adelaide at Mars Stadium. So as per usual with their Ballarat deal that they'll have a game out there at Ballarat at Mars Stadium. I'm pretty sure these two teams did play at Mars Stadium last year. But anyway, enough about the stadium. Let's move on to the tip. Adelaide is a very competitive side at the moment, but then the Bulldogs, it's hard to go past them. Again, they could just sleep and pull off an unexpected loss. But I think that win over North Melbourne is starting to cement their momentum a bit. Bailey Smith, Aaron Norton, they're starting to become more consistent players. Bontempelli moving into the forward line a bit. This is where I think they'll start to hit control a bit more. And for me, this has the Bulldogs game written all over it. Again, it's at Mars Stadium. It's not at Adelaide Oval, so I'm not really predicting a win for Adelaide here. And the Bulldogs, I think, yeah, they should get a nice convincing win here and win by 28 points. Then we have Port Adelaide taking on the West Coast Eagles at the Adelaide Oval. Talk about a toilet bowl game. This is going to be, I think, 17th versus 18th or whatever. This is going to be a battle for the bottom 4 by the looks of it. And Port Adelaide really need to pick up their shit. They're yet to win a game. Honestly, they really should have ran over the top of Carlton last week. But will Port Adelaide pick up their first win of the season at home against a struggling West Coast Eagles side? They've just been under the pump and stitched up so many times. They have got McGovern coming back in from COVID. Yes, Port Adelaide will win this game. I think you saw that game last week at halftime. You're like, Jesus Christ, Port Adelaide looked done. But their fight back, their resilience really did caught my eye. Brian Burton was terrific down back. Briley Bonner, Darcy Byrne-Jones, Mitch Shorty-Artis and Todd Marshall as well. They're big players that need to step up. And in front of a passionate home crowd, I'm feeling, I think the fans will really rally around the Port Adelaide side to finally pick up their first win. And against a struggling West Coast Eagles side with all the shit they've been through, this has to be a win. And I'm going to tip the Power here, and they'll win by 17 points. Then we've got Fremantle taking on Carlton. This is a really intriguing matchup because Freo, I still feel, haven't really been tested. They haven't played a top 4, top 6 quality side. I guess you could say they did play the Saints, which are that kind of quality side at the moment. And they lost to them quite convincingly in the end. And against Carlton, a really quality side at the moment. 𝐓𝐿 should come back in. This will be an absolute ripper. Their team's both in form at the moment, and even though Carlton just can't put games to bed when they're up by a convincing margin, they're still playing great football, but so are the Dockers. And from me just looking at this game, since it's at Optus Stadium, I believe that Fremantle will win this game. Their list just has so much upside at the moment. They are in red hot form. Their back six is just brilliant at the moment, and even though Carlton are putting on a lot of points, hitting the scoreboard quite a bit, they're versing a side that aren't allowing many points at all. The Dockers, they're defensively sound, very tight at the back. And yeah, I will be tipping Fremantle in this game. Just a really classy side at the moment, and it's going to be a really good hit out, I reckon. But simply, it's the home field advantage that makes me tip Freo here. and they'll win a close one, and they'll win by 9 points. Now for the Sunday games, and we have North Melbourne taking on Geelong down there in 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼 in Hobart. Both teams are coming off a loss, North Melbourne's loss being quite understandable, and the Cats' loss is, a bit of a head scratcher. I know that Hawthorn always play good football against the Cats, but the Cats are a top 4 quality side, I still feel, and they should head down to Hobart and pick up a good win over North Melbourne. Not completely riding off North, but you can't expect North Melbourne to be a team that's going to fight every single week. They're going to have a few poor games. There are a bottom 2 quality side, I feel, and the Cats will, I think it'll be smashing, and they'll win by 41 points. Now I've got Gold Coast taking on the Brisbane Lions. A bit of a Q clash here at Metricon Stadium. The Suns seem to be one of the most competitive sides in the competition at the moment. No matter who they verse, they always put up a good fight. And I'm starting to feel that Metricon Stadium is a bit of a fortress, because they've versed Carlton, which they beat. They've versed Melbourne Demons over there, which they almost beat. They only went down by 11 or 12 points. And now they're taking on the Lions, but the Lions, of course, are used to that muggy and humid conditions. And not only that, the Lions are a really classy side at the moment. Even though I could definitely see this being a close contest, the Lions for me is just the obvious tip. I know Gold Coast are very competitive, but the Lions list, the Lions class just keep on outclassing those lower quality side of teams. And for me, the Lions should win this game, and they'll win it by 20 points. Now for an absolute Sunday night blockbuster between Richmond and Melbourne at the MCG. Very hard to tip the Tigers at the moment. They're looking like a very inconsistent side. You don't tip the Tigers, they'll play the game of their lives. Whilst if you do tip the Tigers, they'll just fall flat. And as I said earlier in the video, they're a team that's alternating their win and loss record at the moment. They are yet to find a game where they can win 2 in a row. But no matter how good the Tigers play in this game, it's just hard to go past the Demons. They are the best team in the competition. A lot of people have got them for the flag. They look unstoppable. They're structurally sound all over the park. Fantastic list as well. They're a team that is just perfecto, and I'm going to be tipping the Demons here by a nice healthy margin of 23 points. Now for the Anzac Monday games, and we've got the curtain raiser of the Hawks taking on the Sydney Swans down there at Utah Stadium. I'm actually going to this game, so I'm not going to be live streaming this weekend. Yes, I am going to be taking the plane trip down, and I'll probably vlog the game too, of course. But anyways, bit of an interesting matchup, because Hawthorn is a bit of a bogey team for the Swans. They always play good football against them, and what we saw from last year, the Hawks putting on a clinic last year against the Swans. But then again, I feel like the Hawks will be a bit of an inconsistent side. They've got a lot of players playing good football, punching above their weight, and because of that, they're going to produce inconsistency here and there. And I'm going to be backing in the Swans here. They seem to be a strong side at the moment. They're a team with quite a bit of form at the moment. I just feel their win against the Eagles by such an outstanding margin is the perfect response from what they showed against North Melbourne the week before. And again, I don't think Tom Putley's coming back in, but if he comes back in, that's even more convincing. But they just seem to be a good side away at the moment, and it's hard to go past the Swans here. I'm expecting a close game, I reckon, and the Swans will win by 10 points. And in the final game, we've got Essendon versus Collingwood. Of course, the grand old Anzac Day clash. Essendon are just simply under the pump at the moment. They are lacking that fight, lacking that effort, whilst the Pies are one of the most competitive teams and hard at the footy sides at the moment. And just when you look at the differences there, I have to tip the Magpies here. They're going to pick up a outstanding win. But then again, you have to remember this is an Anzac Day game. No matter how good or how bad a team is playing form-wise, it is expected to be a close game. But the Magpies, they're putting up good numbers at the moment. They're playing competitive football, and they'll win this game by 18 points. So everybody, there is my tips for round 6 of the 2022 AFL season. Hopefully you enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and also feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think of your tips, and also comment down your tips too if you wish. Anyway fellas, that's it from me. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll talk to you later. See you later.